Hi, this is Ryan.
And this is Manuel.
And if you only have 2 days in San Francisco,
these are our top 10 places to visit. We absolutely love San Francisco. It's lively, charming, historic, and it's got a mix of coastal and cosmopolitan vibes, and we cannot wait to share with you our top 10 places to go.
First off is Alcatraz. Now, we've always wanted to go, so we booked our tickets through the Alcatraz City Cruises website, which is the only official place where you can book your tickets. It was around $45 when we booked.
You must arrive there 30 minutes before your departure time. There's a bag policy in place, but we all had backpacks and it was absolutely fine. There are toilets on the pier and also a nice model of Alcatraz and its history.
The journey to the island took approximately 10 minutes, which was worth the ticket price alone, as you get amazing views of San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge, and Alcatraz. The approach to the island was very exciting, as straight away you could see just how much history there was to get lost in. If you're hungry, luckily there's a cafe on board that serves coffee, pastries, and many other things. And there are also restrooms.
When we arrived, we disembarked and we were greeted by a ranger from the National Park Service, and that was very useful because he gave us lots of information about the place and it got us even more excited about our exploration.
The main attraction on the island is the Cell House self-guided audio tour that allows you to go inside one of the most infamous places in American history.
Yeah, and this was no doubt the highlight of our Alcatraz visit. We were there with my parents, who don't speak English, but fortunately they provide the tour in at least 10 different languages.
On the tour, you listen to the voices of former inmates and officers who really immerse you in the world of Alcatraz. You'll walk through the prison blocks and you'll hear stories of prison operations and daily routines.
But for us, what was most exciting was to hear about the famous escape of 1962, when 3 men escaped using sharpened spoons to dig through their cells, and then broke out through ventilation ducts into a utility corridor, leaving behind dummy heads made of plaster to fool the guards. They escaped, but they've never been seen again, so this still remains an open investigation.
And you can hear stories of famous inmates such as Machine Gun Kelly, Al Capone, and of course the Birdman of Alcatraz, who was there for 54 years.
They were imprisoned in the hole, which held prisoners in solitary confinement, and this is where they were subject to harsh punishments. It was actually quite haunting.
The self-guided tour is about half an hour, but you can pause and start when you want. The route is easy to follow and you always know exactly where you're supposed to be going. You can't get lost.
We even met William Baker, a former inmate who is now 91 years old. He was incarcerated in Alcatraz for 3 years after 2 escape attempts from other prisons. He's often there to sign copies of his book, and he was very happy to chat to people and take pictures.
After the tour, we started to explore outside of the cell house. One of the other reasons that we were looking forward to Alcatraz was to see what was left of the occupation of Alcatraz, where almost 100 Native Americans occupied the island for 19 months. You can still see remnants of this over the whole island, which we found fascinating.
While exploring the island, I have to say I really wasn't expecting to see all the wildlife and vegetation that we did see. We saw cormorants, herons, and all sorts of birds. There were even a few park rangers with binoculars to help you identify them. I thought that was so cool. Also, outside, you get amazing views of San Francisco and the Golden Gate Bridge.
So, how long do you need for the tour? We'd say you'd probably need around 3 hours, which includes the boat ride to and from the island, the Cell House audio tour, and some exploration.
Pro tip: we booked the very first time slot to get to the island because we heard that it was the best way to get the island all to yourselves. And I have to say it really paid off because for about half an hour we had the whole island all to ourselves and about 100 more people that were on the boat with us.
The second of our must-dos in San Francisco is Fisherman's Wharf, which is only a 10-minute walk from Pier 33.
Yeah, and even if it's a very touristic place, the truth is that you cannot visit San Francisco without coming here, and we actually really enjoyed it.
The first thing we did here was Pier 39, which is on 2 levels with dining, entertainment, shopping and attractions, all surrounded by amazing views of the city and the bay.
I love wildlife, and what I loved most about Pier 39 was to see the sea lions. There were so many, and they were so loud. Yes, that loud. They were just so fascinating to see. I could have spent hours there and Ryan had to drag me away.
For lunch, we went to Boudin, which was a 10-minute walk from Pier 39 and is the oldest continually operating business in San Francisco. It's been there for more than 170 years. Boudin is famous for its sourdough bread, which is trademarked as the original San Francisco sourdough. It's a lovely place to eat. I ate the crab chowder and Manuel had the classic clam chowder, both served in a sourdough bowl.
They were delicious. Just seconds away is the famous Fishermans Wharf sign. The whole area has plenty of opportunities for shopping and dining, but it was time for a dessert, so what better place to visit than the original Ghirardelli's?
Ghirardelli's is only a few minutes walk away and its history spans back to over a century ago.
Yeah, it was originally a chocolate factory established by Domenico Ghirardelli, who was Italian, just like me.
He's very proud of his Italian heritage.
Yes, I am.
When we went in, the smell was incredible. It's over 2 floors with a giant chocolate fountain connecting them. The ambiance is really cute. You can even sit inside a trolley car upstairs. We ordered one of their famous sundaes, which was big enough to share, and also ordered a coffee. It's a perfect pit stop if you're in need of a little pick-me-up. When you're done, you can explore Ghirardelli Square, which is home to other businesses and a beautiful fountain.
Do you have some extra time? If you do, then this area is not short of things to do. You can see the old cannery, which is now a shopping area, in the San Francisco Maritime National Historic Park. We love maritime history, and we couldn't resist popping into the visitor center to see the exhibit. Also, from Ghirardelli's, we could see the old ships that are part of the National Historic Park. Well worth a visit.
Stop number 3 on our list is Lombard Street, which is one of the most iconic roads in America. To get there, we walked only 15 minutes from Ghirardelli's via Hyde Street. Because of our itinerary, we decided to get there reaching the top of it and then walk down. But beware, it's a steady uphill climb, but wow, the views were amazing. We could see Alcatraz, the Golden Gate, and we even had a few trolleys passing by.
Lombard Street is claimed to be the crookedest street in the world, and apparently over 2 million people visit it each year. When we got to the top, we started the walk down the path. It was lovely and doesn't take long at all. However, it was very busy and there's actually not much to do here. So we were ready to move on to the next place on our list.
Stop number 4 on our list is Coit Tower, which is either a 25-minute walk from Lombard Street or a 5-minute drive.
Coit Tower is named after Lily Hitchcock Coit, a wealthy patron of the city's firefighters. When she died in 1929, she left a substantial amount of money for, as she said, the purpose of adding to the beauty of the city I have always loved.
You can go up the tower for a 360-degree view of the city and the bay for $10, but this wasn't available when we were there, so instead we checked out the murals on ground level, which were incredible. The murals depict life in California during the Depression and are well worth checking out. Even if you don't go up the tower, the views from Telegraph Hill are great.
Only 5 minutes away from Coit Tower is North Beach. And if you're interested in the Beat generation or anything Italian, this is the right place for you.
The city's Little Italy offers some of San Francisco's most popular architectural landmarks, but it's also a perfect spot to wander beautiful streets and soak up the richly cultured neighborhood.
For us, the highlight is City Lights Bookstore, which was founded in the 50s by Lawrence Ferlinghetti and was famous for publishing Beat Generation writers and was the center of national attention when copies of Allen Ginsberg's Howl were seized by authorities and Ferlinghetti was arrested and charged with selling obscene material. City Lights still publishes today, and you absolutely cannot miss the poetry room upstairs. Just outside, you can have a little stroll down Kerouac Alley, a tribute to Beat Generation writers.
If you fancy a coffee stop, Vesuvio Cafe is next door, or, like us, you could go to Cafe Trieste, which is just around the corner for an authentic and affordable Italian espresso. This is also where Francis Ford Coppola wrote The Godfather. He even has his film production company just down the road.
Stop number 6 is Chinatown, which is the oldest Chinatown in North America and is only a few minutes away.
Here, we really enjoyed walking around and getting lost in the beautiful alleys, but there was one spot that we just couldn't miss, and this was the Golden Gate Fortune Cookie Factory. Here, you can see the process of having your own fortune cookie made, and you can even write a message to put inside them. It was super cheap, and they were absolutely delicious. It was actually one of the highlights of our trip.
After that, we continued our exploration of Chinatown, and actually, you could spend hours here and see all the beautiful streets, temples, and the iconic Dragon's Gate.
Stop number 7 on our list is the Palace of Fine Arts, which is another San Francisco institution that's been there for over 100 years. It's a monumental structure originally built for the 1915 International Exposition to exhibit works of art. It's the perfect Instagram spot, with photo shoots happening around every corner. But it's still a very peaceful and beautiful haven amongst the hustle and bustle of the city. Of course, you can't go to San Francisco without seeing the Golden Gate Bridge. Now look, any way you decide to see it, it's going to be beautiful. But these are our top 3 favourite ways to view it.
The first one is Fort Point National Historic Site, where you can see the bridge from below. This is also where Hitchcock shot that very famous scene from Vertigo, and here you can really grasp the size of the bridge while hearing the sounds of the waves. This was definitely the most dramatic way to view the bridge. On selected days, you can explore the fort and the Welcome Center.
Our next recommendation is crossing the bridge itself, which can either be done by car, on foot, or by bike. We decided to drive, which was thrilling, but it was also very hard to take everything in as it's over very quickly. However, it was still an amazing experience. At the time of filming, it was around a $10 toll, and this was driving into San Francisco.
Our third favorite way to view the bridge was from the Golden Gate viewpoint, where you can really get an idea of the scope of the bridge, and you also get great views of the Bay Area and the city. If you want an even closer look at the bridge, you can go to Battery Spencer, a half-mile trail that starts from here. Our next recommendation is the Presidio, which will literally take days to explore. But if you only have a couple of days, just like us, there's still so much you can enjoy.
The Presidio is a historic park and former military base located on the northern edge of San Francisco, offering stunning views of the Golden Gate Bridge, lush forests, and scenic trails. It is now a vibrant cultural hub with museums, restaurants, and outdoor activities, blending natural beauty with rich history. We really enjoyed walking there. The parade ground is also home to the Walt Disney Family Museum. Unfortunately, it's only open a few days a week and was closed on the day we were there, so be sure to check their schedule beforehand if this stop is important for you. The museum was founded by Walt Disney's daughter and features the life and legacy of her father. We're big Disney fans, so we will definitely be back. But our Disney dreams were not completely destroyed, as only a few minutes away is the home of Lucasfilms. If you're a Star Wars fan, this is an absolute must. There's a beautiful Yoda fountain in the courtyard, and you can even peep through the doors of the lobby to see many Star Wars memorabilia. And who knows, maybe even bump into the man himself. And of course, last but not least, are San Francisco's famous cable cars. At the time of our visit, a day ticket was $8 and a day pass was $13. There are 3 main lines that climb all the way up San Francisco's famous hills, and it's a beautiful and iconic activity. They are manually operated, so we made sure to see the turnaround of the cable car, which happens at both the beginning and the end of each line. We chose to board at the intersection between Powell and Market Street, where we also got to see the turnaround. It was definitely a unique experience. The views were amazing, and the ride itself was thrilling, but we definitely recommend trying to be on the outside section, as it's actually quite hard to experience the views properly from the inside. Some pro tips. Unless you consider the cable cars as a highlight of your trip, why not use them in a more productive way to get to a location that you're traveling to? Yes, and also instead of waiting hours at the ticket booth, how about walking up a block and actually buy the ticket from the conductor of the train? We saw lots of people doing this, and it actually saves lots of time. Also, if you're finished with your day pass, why don't you think about gifting it to someone else? Someone did that to us, and it was a really lovely thing to do, and it saved us lots of money. Yeah, and it was very kind. So that's it for our top 10 places to visit in San Francisco. But now the question some of you may have been waiting for: is San Francisco safe? Ryan? Well, we did read some horror stories and we were a little apprehensive. The car break-ins are extremely common, and even though we didn't witness this ourselves, warning signs were all over the city, and it definitely put us off from driving, which is why we mainly walked or used Uber. The one time we did drive, we just made sure that we didn't leave anything visible in the car, and fortunately we were fine. Another thing we heard was to avoid the Tenderloin area. It's not a really touristic area, so we had no real reason to go, so we decided not to. But also, we did hear it's getting a bit better. We live in London, so we're used to always have to be careful and watch out for our bag and everything. But our main advice if you are in San Francisco is go there, have fun, and don't get too paranoid. We have another video of our top 10 day trips from San Francisco that you can take. Be sure to check it out.
There is so much beauty just minutes outside of the city that you don't want to miss.
Also, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. It goes a long way and it really means a lot.
Stay tuned for all of our future videos where we have many trips and tips to share with you.
We're always on an adventure and we cannot wait to take you with us. And now,
See you down the road.